Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another time here at the book club. Welcome. We're going to do this every Sunday at 2 p.m. We do a book club. We've been reading several books. Our first book was The Purpose of Life by Dan Millman. Our second book was Believe It by Jaime Ken Limer. And the third book was what's the third book again? It was TD Jake's book, right? Was TD Jake's book a third book? Maybe. I guess it was TD Jake's book. Don't Drop the Mic. That was that was a third book. TD Jake's book. Don't Drop the Mic. That was a third book. And our fourth book was our third book was Cleopatra's Riches by Martha. So was Cleopatra's Riches by Martha. That was our third book. And our fifth book is the one we're closing today, which is Business is Personal by Bethany Frankel, right? So that's what we're taking today. Business is Personal by Bethany Frankel. And we've been reading this since October last year. And we finished it last month. And this month we've taken to doing a book summary for this month. So the first Sunday of this month, we did part 1, part 2, part 3, and today is the fourth Sunday of this month. We're going to close it out. We're going to do part 4, and we'll be looking at chapter 11, 12, 13, and the epilogue, pretty much just to close out the book today. Next week, Sunday, which will be July the 2nd, we're going to start with our 6th book in the series, and it's a book called The Good Life by Robert Waldinger and Matthias. And it's a lessons from the world's longest scientific study of happiness, right? And so they've had this study for 85 years of what happiness is. So this book is written based on the results from that study and other people's example, other interviews also. And like we always do, we're going to share our own story. I'll share my life, and as many as come on will share their life also. And, this is not just theory, this is practical. Everything we do here is something that you can apply in your life. It's wisdom for daily living. It's an intent, an aspiration to do life together, right? To share life lessons, best practices, so that each of our lives can become better, right? So it's about creating a more meaningful, satisfying life. That's what the book is about, So we're gonna get into do an introduction next week Sunday, God willing, July the 2nd. But for today, we're gonna close out on our 5th book. We're gonna close it out today, which will make it October, November, December, and this is 6 months, 9 months doing this. Like I gotta say, we're not in a hurry, right? We're gonna take as long as it takes to ensure that we extract as much as possible from each book we get to read. We're not doing this to count the number of books. We're doing it such that we can get the blessings from the book. We can extract as much as possible from the book in such a way that our lives will be affected by what we have read, right? We will not be the same after reading the book, right? Our lives will have changed for the better. We will have been increased by reason of the encounter with the book. That's the essence. That's all we're striving towards, right? And if we get that, it doesn't matter if we read one book for 10 years, right? We want to be blessed. We want to grow. We want to be better. That's our goal, right? So let's go on and close out our present book, Business is Personal. As always, I'm going to bring up my slide here, and we'll just take it. All right, I believe you can see my slides here. Again, that's the book we're closing out today. That's a book we're going to start next week, Sunday. In quick introduction, this is Robert J. Waldinger, right, is a psychiatrist, right? and a psychoanalyst, right? He's also a Zen priest, so he has the Zen ideology, and is a director of at the Harvard study of adult development, right? Is a director there, and they've been doing this study, which used to be, which right now I'm really not sure. I see different years, different place. It's 75 to 85 years study of adult development. That's what the book is about. So we're going to be learning from real life study. And Max also is a psychologist, as a professor, associate director at the same Harvard study as Robert he's at, and both of them have been looking at adult development, and we'll be learning from them as we go through the book. Pretty much chapter 11, as we try to close out our learnings from chapter 11. The title of chapter 11 was The Wolves at the Hand of the Bird. And it's pretty much talking about not allowing your success to become your enemy. Right? Don't let your success work against you, we are all susceptible to that. It's a human thing, right? When you're successful, you feel on top of the world. You feel like you are immortal. You feel like it will never end, right? But that feeling unguarded can hurt you and make you a failure. Again, that's why we have the conquering generals in the ancients. They had a slave behind them, always singing to their ears, remember you're mortal, remember you're mortal. That's memento mori. Remember you're mortal, remember you're mortal, remember you're mortal. It's just to calm them down, right? From being lifted above themselves, is to calm them down, calm their ego down, bring them back to reality, take away the hypnotism of success, because success can be intoxicating, it can be hypnotic, right, and make us become someone other than who we are, right? So we need to guard against that, and that's what Bethany began to discuss in this chapter, right? So don't let your success be your enemy. Let your success be your friend, right? Don't let your ego get too close to your position, so that when your position goes, your ego does not go with it, right? Hold down your ego irrespective of the position that you find yourself, and that's important, because it's a human thing, right? I've said severally about people, examples here, even in the place of work, people that were nothing, and just because they gave them position, now felt they are bigger than life, and they ended, on the wrong side. Their success became their failure. They didn't end well. They didn't leave the company well. They left not with a good name, right? They left with a bad name. You don't want that to be your case. You want to leave. You want with your head held up. You want your success to be your success and your friend, not your enemy, right? On your failure, right? So as long as you're honorable, so Dr. R in his book, The Dark Secrets of Mind Control, says that as long as you're honorable, no other man can ever make you lose your honor, right? If you're honorable, you're honorable. Because if you're honorable, then you're going to be honorable from a deep recess of your being. The deep recess of your being will guide your honor. No one can take away your honor from you if your honor is true. Because if your honor comes from within, then that within will guide your honor. But if your honor is just mere show, on the outer place, right? A facade, every little thing will take it away, right? Every distraction or any distraction will take it away. You're either honorable or not honorable, right? You're either a good fruit or a bad fruit, right? You will exhibit who you are. So it's important to make sure that who you are is who you want to be. You got to focus on that. It's more about the character, the personality than the hype, right? So and really your friends are known to you in time of crisis. Everybody wants to be your friend when you're successful, right? Everybody wants to be your friend, but not everybody has a good heart towards you. You would know the difference when either they succeed or you fail. then you know your true friends. You know your true friends, and again, I'll say we just had an election here. You could see a lot of people show their true skin, people you thought had integrity, and you could see them come, in their carnality, and you could then decipher who each person is and who you can truly rest on or trust in. I've gone through time of depression, and I could tell, those that pretty much drew away, and those that stood, them, people you can rest your life on. It's not everybody that crowds around you can trust. Even Jesus said, when they were coming to him because he had given them bread to eat, he said they were all wanting to crowd around him, and Jesus did not give himself to them because he knew what man is made of. Man is finicky, right? A lot of people are driven by their emotions. They have no substance in them. They're mere smoke, so you don't want to rest your life on the smoke of man. You're looking for solid rock that you can stand upon to build your life upon, right? And carry your life that will sustain your life, right? Not smoke, So it is, and that's still on. We're still on chapter 11, and Bethany gives us three things that we can do to help us such that our success will not be our enemy. And number one, she says you need to take care of yourself. That's very important, right? Self-care can never be overemphasized, right? If you hear someone that's trying to de-emphasize self-care, that person does not love you. All right. The old African proverb goes like this: that if there's nothing within you, if there's no enemy within you, right, the enemy outside of you cannot hurt you, right? So you need to ensure there's no enemy within, and that's called self-care. Self-care is all about ensuring there's no enemy within, so that you can then stand at the gate, so that you can then stand tall in every battle and opposition of life, right? So you need to take care of yourself. You need to rest well. You need to eat well. You need to exercise, right? You need to read and develop yourself mentally, psychologically, right? So you need to pray. You need to meditate, whatever it takes to make sure you come to a place of peace and quietness, where you are in control of everything within. Because until there's a quietness within, you cannot fight the war that is without. Until you have your own peace, you cannot give that peace to others. Until you have your own quiet, you cannot give that quietness to others, right? That's important. Take care of yourself, right? Number two, Bethany says, don't believe your own hype, right? Don't believe in your own hype, like we just talked about. Because everything is going on well, does not mean you are no more mortal, right? Because everything is going on well does not mean you are now a god, right? But because everything is going on well does not mean your heart should be lifted up. I've seen a lot of high flyers, think that they are God, think that they are better than life. And they fly until where they are at the top or close to the top, where there's not much room to continue flying. And they are held for some years, and they become frustrated, right? They believed in their own hype. They've told that they're better than others, that they're better than life. And that hurts them. Whether they go into depression or they exit earlier than they should, and they make a mess of their life. They make a mess of the earlier success. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Always remember, be humble yourself, be humble yourself, right? And be realistic about the issues of life. Look in the mirror. You're still man. You're still woman. You're still mortal, right? You're not immortal. Right, and let that guide you. Right, so stay humble. It's just the right last one, which is flows into stay humble. That would help you, and help that your success will be your friend and not your failure or your disaster. Right. So move on to chapter 12, and chapter 12 says it's worth the risk to build, because they would come. If you build, you would have a market for it, right? And that's what life is, right? if you grow, you innovate, and example we see is Apple, right? Apple saw the need, what people would need in the future and created it today. They saw what people would need in the future and created it today. That's the way to succeed in life. You have to be ahead of your customers, right? Everybody's playing follow the followers game. Those are people that are not thinking. They just want to do what every other person is doing. Yeah, you get so much, but you probably won't get as much as you can get from the market, right? The way to get the best of the market and to be ahead of the game is to think ahead into the future and ask yourself what people would need and create it today, right? Because a lot of customers have needs that they don't even know they have. So you can create a market for yourself. You can create a niche market for yourself if only you can think deep, right? And think ahead of what people would need, right? And it could also be what is already been done, but you're thinking about how to do it differently or getting the max from what you're already doing, right? So for us, I went into farming, right? Didn't know jack about farming, but I know how to build businesses. I know how to make money, right? So I went in based on that. So I could do anything other than farming, but farming was what was available at that point in time, right? And we put a lot of money in there, and we still have ways to go. But we're already generating products, right? We have a Gary we've been selling for a while. We brought the 1 kg pack out. We're getting to 500-gram pack, the 2 kg pack. We have yam that's going to be harvested soon, and we already have plans to make pando yam out of it. We're not going to sell our yam. We're going to process it and send the pando yam. We have plantain coming. We're going to process it also. We're walking the whole value chain, right? But we have to take the risk. We have to stick our neck out. We have to learn how to do it, right? And not just stay in our comfort zone, right? That's how we get it. That's how you break past the average. You break past the average. You break past what everyone is doing. That's how you differentiate yourself in the market, and you get the reward for doing it, right? So there is a price for getting what you want. Whatever you want, there is a price to pay for it. There's a price for differentiating yourself. It's a risk. That price is called risk, right? You have to pay the price, which is the risk, for the price, the reward you want, right? You need that. So the Millman puts it this way. He says, every positive change, every jump to a higher level of energy or an awareness involves a rite of passage. If you want to differentiate yourself, there is a rite of passage. There's a price to pay. Each time you ascend to a higher rung on the ladder of personal evolution, we must go through a period of discomfort, of initiation. I have never found an exception. Each time you want to grow, each time you want to differentiate yourself, I've been through that season of life, and I'm still in that season of life, where the Lord is weaning me of some things, right? Weaning me of some things that I either have been fear factors in my life. I'm going beyond the fear factor. I'm going beyond the fear factor to walk in the place of peace, in the place of rest, in the place of the daring, taking risk, right? And being at peace, right? By virtue of what I have learned, right? So that's available for us all, right? So you never take risks for nothing. Whatever you do in life, never go do something that you have nothing to gain from it, whether it be physical reward or be metaphysical reward, but there must be a reward. Only mad people do things for nothing. Don't let anybody deceive you. Nobody does anything for nothing, right? There must be something they're getting from it for them to put their whole heart into doing it. If you try to get someone to do something for nothing, you will only be the fool for it, Right. So always know what is in it for the person you're trying to get to do something. And if it's you trying to do something, define for yourself, what is it that I'm getting for what I am doing? Because if you don't get that reward, you will not be able to put the whole of your being into it. And you will not be something that's going to feel you, or be something that would drain you. You need something to feel you for the things that you're doing, right? Not drain you. Don't stay on the draining, right, too long. You need to feel yourself with what you are doing. You have to get a reward for what you are doing. All right. And so you never take risks without doing due diligence also, to know the cost. Like Jesus would say, why would you go to a war and not know what's going to cost you? You sit down, first of all, do I have enough ammunition? What are the ammunition I would need? It's what we call the SWOT analysis. You know what your strength is, what your weakness is, and what are the opportunities and the threats that you're going against. First of all, you have to keep your house in order. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Then what are the opportunities I'm going in for? What are the threats I need to protect myself from? It's called the SWOT analysis, SWOT, right? So the more risk you take, the more muscle you build. The more resistance you go against, the more muscle you build. But never go against more than you can handle per time. Never go against a resistance that will take you out of the game, right? You would more easily die of constipation than you would die of an hunger for what you do. So take it a piece at a time. Take what you can bite. Take what you can chew at a time. Don't fill your mouth and you're not able to chew, right? That is foolishness. You have a long go. Think about not just the short term. Think about the long term, right? Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Take your time and do it one day at a time, right? And the more you do it, the more you do it and do the same thing, you build mastery in whatever it is that you find yourself doing, right? So Matthew gives 4 points to help us in this wise in taking risk in life. He says you test the waters. Don't just go all in, because you might just go all out, right? Don't risk more than your heart can handle, more than your being can handle if it does not work, right? So don't put your 2 legs in the water. Do a pilot test, right? Irrespective of the good story they've told you about it, right? They might be saying the truth, but past success does not guarantee today's success, right? You need to understand the present issues, right? Which might be different from the past issues, right? And be able to then adjust your plan accordingly, right? You need to be working with the right opportunities, the right threats, right? And even having known yourself, to harness that, right? So think about the worst case scenario. How bad can it get? That's knowing your threats. That's your threat, so have contingency plans, right? So you have contingency plans that is pretty much protect yourself. Have some level of insurance against the shortfall, right? And typically in investing, we talk about the fact that what you're looking for needs to be like 3 times what your possible downfall is. That's probably not, that's on the average, right? But you just make sure that what the risk you're taking is worth what you are going in for, right? Don't go risking 100 only to get 1, right? You need to be risking 1 to get 100, or risking 1 to get at least 3, so plan that adequately. So own up to your mistakes and learn from them. We're humans. Everything we do will not necessarily work. We're gonna make some mistakes. There's no use deceiving yourself and denying your error. If something doesn't work, understand why it didn't work, learn from it, and use your learnings going forward, right? Don't try to cover up, learn from it, and be a better person by doing so, right? Also, Bethany gives us 4 things, right? How to find balance while taking risk, I just say, he says that one, you need to always be prepared for the risk that you're about to take. Do your homework. Like we talk about your SWOT, know your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, your threats. Understand what it is that you're getting into, right? Accept responsibility for the results. Be accountable to yourself and to others. If you have negatively affected people, you need to apologize and make amends. If it's positive, yeah, be proud of yourself for it. So and don't give up, right? Don't give up. For as long as we're alive, there's hope, right? So if you fail today, doesn't mean that you have to hand it. If you really want it, then you learn from your mistakes today and do it again, right? So like the Japanese would say, fail 7 times or fall 7 times, rise up 8, right? Don't let life defeat you. You are here to defeat life. Don't let life defeat you, right? So we'll move into chapter 13, which is our last chapter in the book. The title is talking about fewer buckets, right? Which still goes back to what we're saying. Don't bite what you cannot chew. Don't swallow your mouth what you cannot easily. Don't take in your mouth what you cannot swallow, right? Piece at a time, bite what you can chew, what you can process in your mouth comfortably, right? Don't just, life is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So, and so we did some intro from our coming book, and we emphasized that the secret to a good life is relationship. That's the title or key word in our coming book. Relationship as life's bottom line, right? So life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. We don't have to have a complicated life. We don't have to do everything. We don't have to be there for everybody. We need to manage ourselves. We need to understand, what can I do? What can I not do? And work within what you can do. Life is not about pleasing everybody. That's madness. Life is not about impressing people. That's madness. Life is about being yourself, expressing yourself, right? So you have to be careful and guided around that. We all need to prioritize self-care and sleep. You need to prioritize taking care of yourself. And Hans Hoffman says the ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak. You need to simplify, get rid of the things that you don't need. Jim C. Collins in his book, Good to Great, talks about, not just having a to-do list. You should also have a not to-do list. There are a lot of things we're probably doing that we don't need to do. And we need to stopping doing them so that our lives can be better, can be called to shape, and we're not overloaded. We're not running the rat race, but we're winning in life. We're focusing on the essentials. We're majoring on the majors, right? And not wasting our times on a lot of things that really don't count, right? Let's spend 80% of our time on the 20% of the things that matter. That's the way to win in life, right? In closing, we'll look at pretty much, this was the epilogue, just talked about, emphasize happiness, right? And to be happy, he pretty much to close the whole book. Don't forget, the book says the truth about not losing yourself, being successful without losing yourself. You want to be happy. Happiness is the purpose of life. We're here to be happy, right? We're here to be happy. And to be happy, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to take care of yourself, and you need to invest in yourself. No other person will do it for you. Only you can take care of yourself better than any other person can take care of you. So we talk about in marriage, what I do for myself, I'm actually doing for my spouse, right? Because if I take care of myself, then I'm available to love and to serve my spouse, right? I cannot take care of my spouse as my spouse can take care of herself. My spouse cannot take care of me as I can take care of myself. So if both of us take care of ourselves, then we make ourselves available to be a blessing for one another. But we don't get swept away by life, and that popular saying by Perry Talhad So the Chaldean says we're not. All right, there are two parts to it. The first part says we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? We are spiritual beings, right? First is we are spiritual beings. We came here as spiritual beings and entered into a body to have a human experience, which is temporal, right? Then we would go into the eternal, right? So we're here to have a human experience, and why not have it? Because when we go back to eternity, there's no human experience there. This is where the human experience is, right? So let's prioritize it. Let's enjoy our time being here, right? Because it's limited, right? So take chances even when you're afraid of the unknown, because you never know. That might just be the one that'll break through for you, right? That's all we have. That's the end of the book. It's been a great time reading this book, done in 9 months. So I look forward to next week starting on a new book, The Good Life. I don't know if we'll take it for 9 months also, but I look forward to doing it. I'm a relationship coach. So I look forward to doing it, So thanks for spending this time with me. I'm going to shut this down right now, and we'll see you here next Sunday, God willing. And we'll start with our new book, The Good Life. We'll start talking about relationship, we'll start talking about happiness. All right. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.